Hi everyone, my name is Anthony Nguyen and I'm here today with House of Lashes. And today I'm going to show you how to do a Golden Goddess smoky eye tutorial using House of Lashes Le Petit individual lashes. Let's get started. Alright, so this is my lovely model, Jessica Cook. Thanks for being here today. So to start off with a bronze smoky look, we always want to start off with curling the eyelashes. And it's always nice to make sure you start off from the root and you give it a really good pump. Make sure to hold it down for a few seconds and then keep pumping until we get to the end of the root. So after we curl the lashes, I want to go ahead and even out her eyelids by using a bit of concealer. So I'm going to start off using this right at the lid and I'm going to work my way up. And now that we have a great base, all of our shadows and eyeliners is just going to glide on and have something to hold on to. So it's just going to be a lot more bold and it's going to last a little longer throughout the day, especially if we decide to use an eyeshadow primer. Next, what I like to do is to kind of create some definition on her crease. So a nice tip is to use the same bronzer that you used on the skin so that it looks very uniform with the eyes. So I'm just going to use a fluffy brush and I'm just going to place it right in the crease and just blend it back and forth, as most people refer to as a windshield wiper if you ever forget. You can even blend up towards the brow bone. And we could use a little bit of the bronzer underneath the lash line as well. And go ahead and look up. A really nice brush to use with this is a pointed pencil brush. So it just tucks in really nicely underneath the lashes. And we could do it about 3/4 of the way. And just to make sure everything's even, you could always just look straight ahead in the mirror to make sure it's even. And we'll just go back with our concealer brush and we will just blend the edges into the foundation. That way it's just gonna look very seamless and well blended. The next step for this bronzed goddess look, I really wanna use an eye pencil. Now it's nice to use something that's a little bit more emollient and creamy so that you could shift the eyeliner around so it's kind of used as an eyeshadow. So right now I'm actually using one of my favorite colors. This is called Coast Chic and this is from MAC Cosmetics. And I'm just going to place this underneath the lash line and just kind of tickle it at the root. And also going in 3/4 of the way. And while it's still setting, we still have time to move it around. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend that into the eyeshadow. And I'm gonna do the same for the upper lash line. And I'm gonna tight line the liner here. So I'm gonna go almost underneath the lashes. I'm just going to use the side of the pencil to kind of swipe in the color. And with my pencil brush, I'm just going to smudge that back and forth. And this is really going to create a nice smoky eyeliner. And then once we add in the lashes, it's really going to just pop. Okay, so one of my favorite things to use as an eyeshadow base is anything cream. This one is from Makeup Forever, and these are aqua shadows, so they're waterproof. And they do not budge. So this is a really great option if you want to use this for the evening. And I'm just going to place this on her lid. Now this is going to be a really metallic gold, and this is going to be a perfect base for our bronze or gold eyeshadow. And using cream eyeshadows are really great because if you're ever in a quick rut and you need something very fast, you could just color this on your lid and just use your finger and you could just blend it right into the skin. All right, so now that we have the cream on, let's go ahead and add some eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use a nice bronzy tone, and I'm gonna go ahead and wet it. So you could use Fix Plus spray or any setting spray and just wet the brush, and that's really gonna enhance the color. It's just gonna make it pop like crazy. Or if you use it alone, it's just gonna be more of a soft wash, which is a bit more natural, and this is just going to make it a little bit more dramatic. And starting from the lid, I'm just gonna pat the color on and work my way up. I'm just gonna use my blending brush and blend it into the bronzer that I used in the beginning. Right now I'm just blending everything, making sure it's nice and even. And it's always nice when you're almost done with your eyeshadow, you just look forward into the mirror to make sure everything looks symmetrical. And next I want to go ahead and highlight. So I'm going to use a nice soft skin tone color with a bit of a shimmer, and I'm going to go ahead and use my fingers for this. So I'm going to do this right on the brow bone. I'm going to blend out the crease color that we used. And the reason why I'm using this is because I kind of want this to just melt onto the skin and kind of give it that effortless glow. We're just going to marry all of the tones together. To enhance this pop a little bit, we can always use a bit of a highlighter in the center of the eye. That's really just going to make the eyes look very bright. And go ahead and open your eyes. I'm just going to place this right near the tear duct, and I'm just going to do a bit of a V shape. Okay, I like to go back with my concealer brush and kind of just clean up the edges. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and darken up the lash line. So I'm going to use a nice warm chocolate brown with a flat brush. I'm just going to go right on top of the eyeliner and just smudge it in. I'm just going to get this really close to the lash line and make sure it's nice and blended. And go ahead and look up. You can always go back with your pencil brush as well, and we could just buff it back and forth. So to enhance the eye, to make it just a little bit more dramatic, we can definitely go ahead and darken up the crease. With a dark, warm brown matte shade, we can go ahead and place the colors on the side of the crease and just lay it flat. So we could just map out where we want it to be. And we can draw a bit of a V shape, just like that, over the lash line and into the crease. And we can connect it to underneath the lash line here. So once we have that placement, we could just buff it out with a nice fluffy blending brush. And one of the best tips, especially for photography, is to brighten up the eyes by using a nude eyeliner in the waterline. So this is definitely one of my favorite little tricks. And this one's from Charlotte Tilbury, and this is the Eye Cheat. And I'm just going to place this inside the waterline. A lot of the times people want to brighten up the eyes by using a white or something very, very bright, and that might look a little too theatrical. So if we tone it down a little bit and just use a bright nude shade, it's just going to look a lot more natural. And after we have our eyeshadow placed, I'm going to use a bit of concealer, and we're just going to brighten up underneath the eye, and we're going to lift it up from the sides of the temple. Beauty blenders are great for using creams or foundations, and it's also really nice to use to blend your shadows. Melt them all together. Okay, I think we're ready to do our lashes. So before we use our individual lashes, I just want to use a thin coat of mascara, just so we have a bit of an anchor for our individual lashes. And again, I'm just going to use a thin coat of mascara on the top as well. And just make sure to get the root of the lashes nice and full, and just wiggle the brush back and forth from the root and just have the mascara deposit a little thinner of a coat at the tips. And also another tip too, when you do your mascara, when it's about to set, just look forward in the mirror and make sure to tailor your lashes by combing the outer corners outwards. This is really going to shape the eye nicely, and then the center, we could just comb it upwards. And the lashes in the very center, we could just comb it towards the center. So now here's the fun part. I'm gonna use one of my favorites, individual lashes. And this one from House of Lashes is Le Petit. It's a little bit more of the natural version. And it's a great way to really just tailor it to yourself. And remember too, before using your lashes, you want to make sure your lashes are nice and curled beforehand, because if you do it after, it might just twist around every which way. So I'm going to use my House of Lashes glue, and And I'm just going to place a little puddle on the side of my hand. And I'm just gonna let that set for just a little bit so it gets nice and tacky. What's nice about this pair of lashes is that it has different sets and sizes. So you could choose something very small to a little bit more dramatic. So I'm gonna start off with the end of her eye, and I'm gonna use one of the medium sizes here. I'm just gonna set a little bit of glue on the knot, and I'm gonna place this right at the root. And I wanna make sure it's not touching the skin, it's just touching the root of the hair. That way it looks like it's really growing from within. And it's okay if it's not all in unison. It's gonna look kind of nice if it's a little scattered, so it looks a little bit more feathered and natural. So don't worry if it gets a little off, because once it dries, you can't really see the glue anyway. And once you have your lashes on, if it ends up twisting and swerving around, don't worry, we still have time to fix it. And using individual lashes, it's nice if you just look straight ahead, or if you want, you could tilt your head back just a little bit and you could place the lashes with your head tilted upwards. But for this look, I'm just gonna go ahead and do it straight ahead. I'm using the longer pieces for the sides of the eye. And you can put as many as you'd like. Depends on how dramatic you'd like to go or how natural you'd like to go. Right now I'm just doing a set of 4. As we get closer to the center of the eye, I'm gonna choose the next lash that's a little shorter. That way we have a bit of a gradual change. And look down. Sometimes if you're not used to having a full set of lashes, it may be a little uncomfortable, but if you're not used to it, using individuals is a perfect alternative to wear false lashes without having it to bother your eye. You probably won't feel it at all throughout the evening. Beautiful. Go ahead and face this way. You could definitely see a huge difference between her left eye and the right eye. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same with the other side. Okay, I think we're set with the eyes. And that's how you do a bronze goddess smoky eye. And to pair this up, it would look really beautiful with a nude lip or a peachy coral and a lot of bronzer. All right, beautiful. Thank you so much, Jessica, for being my amazing model. And again, my name is Anthony Nguyen. Thank you so much for checking out the videos. If you like this one, make sure to like and subscribe for more House of Lashes videos.